I never care for perfect. As long as I'm happy, you see me, I know for sure they know me.
Good morning, everyone. Chris and Tammy here. It's always a pleasure to have the opportunity to share with you these Saturday trainings. Let me just kind of move my screen around here so I can get all the data that I need. And Tammy and I this morning, we really want to focus on some really important aspect of having success in our business. But before we begin, Tammy, why don't we just welcome the folks here that are on board here? Please go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome from all over. I can see, just in the group. Always put where you're connecting in from. I know some of you do, some of you don't, but it's nice for others to see, and always stay connected in the chat as well, because engagement is important. That's part of building our business. Sometimes you're going to share something amazing that's going to impact somebody's decision on really engaging and running with this. And I believe that we all need each other to build this business. Teamwork makes the dream work. And, thank you for all your contributions. So Comfort, welcome. Dave, welcome. Deborah, I see Dr. Ho here, Dr. KOA. We have Ekankar. Did I say that right? Ekankar. Falara, welcome. Gary, Grace, Sylvia, welcome. We have Kelly, we have Kim, fantastic. Lou, fantastic. Great to have you here. Michaela, Richard, Williams, and I know people are going to be coming in, but we want to recognize the people that come in at the beginning before we get started with our sessions. It's important to show up early and always show up for class. Often we think, I've heard it all before. I can miss this one, but what you don't realize is when you miss them, you don't get that spark, that internal spark inside. Maybe you've heard this information before, but you just need to hear it in this moment, and today. So it's always important to stay plugged in, always. And I see a lot of you that are extremely consistent at this. If you're not consistent at this, that's why the training that we're doing today is extremely important. If by chance you have something scheduled on Saturday at 10 a.m., catch the recording. The challenge with recordings is, we'll just catch a recording. How many times have you said that and you haven't done it? And if you're being truthful with yourself, put a 1 in the chat. If you said, I will catch the training on Saturday and never did it, come on, let's be honest, because we've done that ourselves. We're human beings, right? So it's important that that we work on things to keep us accountable and active and committed to your cause, to your mission, to your purpose of doing this, to your goals, to your family. Your
totally
family
agree,
are
Tammy.
counting on you. Yeah.
I totally agree, Tammy. And again, the reason why we're doing this training, don't fool simplicity and things that may seem obvious as maybe unimportant or it won't make a difference. What we're sharing with you here this morning is not long, but really, really, really important. So we're going to really cover about 8 points and the importance of consistency, because and notice something. If you look at the leaderboard on the God Backup and your God Backup virtual office, and you look at the people that seems to always be at the top of the food chain when it comes to income, performance, and all of that, you will notice that they seem to be the same people that come here and also participate and collaborate, right? They don't just sit back and hide, behind whatever you want to call this, right? Behind your PC, whatever the situation may be. You understand what I mean? Is try to take an active role and show up for class. We cannot stress this enough, because the fact is consistency always win the race. I remember in our early beginnings when we started this venture in network marketing, and Tammy and I are Canadians, and at the time we were living in Ottawa, Ontario. Now we live in Toronto, the big city. But the point is, right now we're still in Daytona Beach. We're here 5 months of the year. Just want to be specific of what's going on, because how come you say Daytona Beach? So we live in both places. My point in saying is, we used to travel to Salt Lake City. We used to travel to Las Vegas. We used to travel to all the different parts of, mainly in the US at the beginning, right? We were always involved with American companies, and generally that's where the network marketing companies are. Specifically, a lot of them are in Utah. But my point in saying here is we were always the little shots, but we kept shooting and we kept shooting. And that's
Nobody
my point. I
knew
want you
us.
to understand. Yeah. We kept shooting.
Yeah.
Right? The little shots that keep shooting eventually becomes a big shot. And this is what it is to keep doing I like to call it the money-making activities, or the daily activities that are one step forward. It's like going from point A to point B. If you constantly walk and you stay on the course of that walk to get to point B, you will eventually get there. You may not be the fastest to get there. But folks, it's not the fastest that wins the race. In fact, it's kind of rare. If you really look on the time frames, and Tammy and I can look 25 years of seeing people to the top, and suddenly they're gone with the wind. But the folks that stayed the course, that built it solid, are still at the top years after. And that's what we're talking about here. Consistency always wins the race. So we want to give you a guide to, achieving your goals. And the fact here, folks, it's not about being fast and going fast. You're going to see some people, especially when an enhanced compensation plan is added on with all the bonus and everything else, you're going to see some people going to the fast track really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm telling you, pay attention. It's not the ones who are there first that will win the race. I'm telling you, it's rarely the case. Often people jump ship all the time and they look for the next shiny thing. The ones who win the race are the one that stays the course and keep moving forward. Just yesterday, Tammy and I got a phone call trying to sell us on another deal.
2.
Right? 2. All the time. But the fact is, when these people are done talking to us, they it's really interesting, but I can feel that now they feel they're in shaky grounds. Why is that? Because we are solid. And when people come to us and try to sell us some deals, the next deal, the next shiny thing, we understand. We've seen the course of these there's always a new deal that comes in, a couple new deals every year. And then there's one in momentum. How long will it be in momentum? Who knows? But the ones who win the race are the one who stays the course. That's the message. So the consistency is key to success in any endeavor. In your marriage, in your business, in your trainings, in your eating habits. It doesn't matter. Your relationship with your kids. It is the consistency of doing these little things on a regular basis that will build up on it. That's success. It doesn't matter what you look at. What we're talking to you about here can impact your life for the rest of your life. It's not because we said so. It's common sense. That's what we want to talk to you about. So Tammy, let's talk a little bit about an example of, I know we talked about it here, but introducing an example to the consistency.
Well, an example is the money-making activities of consistency. I mean, that's what we all should be doing consistently every single day. So what is the money-making activities? Well, it's connecting with new people. Always, always adding new people to your list. Always, always. If you're not adding new names to your list, you're not growing. Okay, because not all of them are going to come in when you want them to come in. Some of them are going to come in later, and with proper follow-up, that's when that happens. In relationship building, of course. So there's the prospecting, connecting with new people, whether it's social media, whether you're out, grabbing a coffee somewhere, whatever it is. When you're consistent doing this, your list is growing. Okay. And if you're doing lead generation, same thing, all of that. When you're consistently creating ads, getting people coming to you and you're adding to your list, that's when you are growing. Okay. If you're not doing that, then write it down, because that's something that you need to work your consistency around. And then, of course, invitation. How many people are you inviting on the Wednesday night? Don't make an excuse that it's not my time zone, because we're open in 137 countries. That's just an excuse. I'm sure that you can find somebody who lives in these time zones that can go and see a presentation. Okay, so at the end of the day, one thing that we always, you might see this quote from time to time that Chris and I put out is, when we lost our excuses, we found our results. And that's really what it's about, is letting go of the things that are holding you back and just getting consistent on the daily activities that need to be done. So connecting with people,
I want to give an example.
Inviting them, following up with them consistently until they sign up. It's that simple, you guys.
That's it. And I want to give an example here, guys. I signed up a gentleman and got back up about 4 days ago. About 4 days ago. And you know how he came to me? Now, first of all, he's heard of Tammy and I from the past with other companies that we've been part of and so forth. So we also have built a name for ourselves. But how did I came across this person? And he's a very seasoned network marketer from Colombia. He's done really, really well in his life, but he's kind of stopped for a period of time. But I believe that's correct, but his wife was one of my leads. The co-op leads is not interesting. So sometimes it's not the actual lead that will respond, but it's people around them. And what happened is he was explaining to me that him and his wife share an email account, and they check what's going on, and they have nothing to hide. And I'm just repeating what he told me. And what happened is he came across this email about God Backup. How did he come across this email? Remember, I think on the presentation on Friday, I think it was on Friday yesterday, we mentioned that Tammy and I always send an email prior to the Wednesday presentation with our CEO, Joel, and another one prior to the presentation on Friday morning. So constantly we send those emails. Not everybody will see the emails every day, but they will catch one of them. That's consistency. That's my message here. So he saw that email, he dug into it, he pre-enrolled, we connected because I noticed his email, and then we build a rapport from there. And now he's an associate. We've installed his software. Now he has this nice little circle at the top if you have a Mac, and a check mark. If it's a PC, it's at the bottom. My point in saying is now his cell phone is synchronized. Everything's working perfectly. And I show him a few little tricks. When in a server, you can create a file. And when you open the file, it opens a Microsoft Word, even if you don't have it. It's all embedded in the God Backup Cloud. My point in saying is all of this came from the consistency of sending the emails. So I'm taking a bit of time on this because some of you are saying, well, is it working for you? Is it working for you? It's not working for me? That could be the answer. In fact, I know that's the answer, is you're not consistently sharing and connecting and sending information to your prospects. Now, I know that many of you are posting comments here, and we don't have the same feature where I can just share your comment on the screen. So I wish I could have that again, but we'll figure all this out. But I know I'm broadcasting right now on YouTube Live. In fact, there's some of you on YouTube Live. There's some of you here. So it's kind of divided. So we'll figure this out. And again, the reason why we're using Zoom is because we want you to have the ability to select the subtitling and the language of choice. Okay. So
I
again,
want to show you guys this because this was given to Chris and I the last mastermind we went at Eric Worre's. He gave all the leaders this book, and you can see all my notes in here. And at the beginning, what does he say? You know, the reason people don't succeed in their connections and their lists is because they're not consistent. They're not consistent in doing it, and they're not consistent in connecting. Right. So that's it. It's all about consistency.
Yeah. I love the comment from Mary. Dress up and show up. Keep showing up. Absolutely correct. I love it. Right. Dr. Kiwi, the one who wins the race are the ones who stays the course. That's correct. If you've been around me, Tammy and I know, staying the course, because we know people quit all the time. That's the number one reason why they don't succeed. If they could just see the future and they just kept going at it, and they stayed long enough, eventually they will hit goal. Yeah. You know what I mean by goal? Not silly, the level of goal, but it's an expression, right? That money starts coming in. That's our message here, which brings me to number 2, is understanding your goals. You need to identify short-term goals and long-term goals. You know, we did some trainings about your core rank. What's the core rank? Anybody here in the chat, or I know Facebook Live, there's always a 10 seconds delay here. But if you don't mind sharing, what is your core rank in God Backup? This is a really important question. What is your core rank in God Backup? That is a question. Type in, what is your core rank? Correct, Esther. It is copper. Copper is your core rank. And remember this, because the enhanced compensation plan is based on duplicating coppers. And you're going to love how simple it is. It's even simpler now. Sorry, it will be simpler then when the new enhanced compensation plan is announced that it is right now. Because right now you have to reach a 250 and all of that. You will see, you will love this. But remember, is to reach core rank and teach others to reach core rank. That means that you have one person on your left on the authorship of God Backup, either yearly or monthly, and one on your right. Boom. You're a copper. And the amount of copper you have into your business will impact your check.
Yeah.
So it's all based on simplicity. And if you do these things, so now short-term goal, well, I need to be core rank. What's the next term goal? Well, I want to reach emerald or platinum, whatever it is for you. And from there, okay, how many copper do I need? Because remember, as you have coppers on the left and on the right, it generates volume for your binary. And it's really, really exciting because the binary percentage will increase based on that. It's based on activities, simple things that everyone can do. Will everybody do it? It's up to them. But simple things, not some reaching the mood stuff. Simple things, repeated, duplicated over time. So again, is you need to understand that your goals have to be what we call SMART goals. They have to be specific, measurable. You can actually measure it. They are achievable. And of course, they are relevant because as you achieve them, it gives you a certain status. There's a relevancy, right? And there's a certain time frame that you need to achieve it. Again, it's entirely up to you on how fast you want to earn a full-time income to be able to live off. Maybe in some of you, you want to pay your mortgage. You want to be able to catch up with your grocery bills. Or maybe you want to turn around and do some investments. Or maybe you got some crypto projects that you want to feed so you can increase your passive income. There's so many reasons, but you need to have smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Absolutely critical. Tammy, you want to talk about number 3, or do you have you want to add on the goals?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been building our business on setting goals. I mean, our vision boards, we create vision boards, and that is our goals. It's our map on all the, you know, the things that we want to achieve. And some we're going to achieve sooner than others. Some are longer goals, like obviously, Chris and I, when we looked at the graph in the comp plan, it was okay. Well, Black Diamond for sure. So that's definitely a target, right? So then it's the steps leading up to that target. So if I can give you any advice right now in your consistency, knowing what's coming, we just told you, copper, get at least one person on one side, one on the other. For every single one in your team, make sure that they're qualified to get one on their left and one on the right. And we teach people outer left, outer right. Everybody builds outer left, outer right. That's how we've always taught people. And everybody contributes. Okay, it's not just about, oh, I got all these people and I'm just going to focus on my pay leg only. No, go back, look at the people, outer left, outer right, outer left, outer right, and build it. Once you got your 2, then you go, okay, well, I need 2 more, outer left, outer right. Okay, and start building your foundation out, because you need a strong foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, then you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna build this house so powerful. And that's one thing that Chris and I have always done, is we've been very strong at the fundamentals. And the more people you get strong in the fundamentals of the basics, go out and get your first one, put them on your left, put them on your right, whatever way, doesn't matter. And do the same thing, put them on the other side. Build your solid house, okay? And watch it grow. And you teach, you guys, you want to make money in this business? It's not about you being the superstar. If your people are not signing people up, then you need to spend time with them. You need to find out what's holding them back. You need to find out, do they have a target goal? You need to be the accountability with your personals. You can't do it with everybody. Let's face it. We're human beings. But of course, at the end of the day, they need to be committed too. If they're not committed, then you just need to move on. But most of them are just going to stay there anyways because they like the product, right? So I think it's important that everybody does this. And when you see what's coming, you're going to be super, super ready. Okay. Imagine how many people should have been on this session today.
Everybody should be here.
You guys are ahead of everybody.
We're telling you the key to maximize your income in God Backup. I'm telling you, one on the left, and each of them have one on the left, one on the right. And on the other side, put one on the right. Make sure that they also have one on the left, one on the right.
Yep.
Now,
going.
Exactly. And just keep doing that. Produce coppers. That is the key. If you keep doing this, you don't need to understand the compensation plan. Everything will fall in its proper place by default. Because if you duplicate one on the left, one on the right, make sure that they did the same thing, what's going to happen is you're going to see massive growth. The company is going to see massive growth. That's what the number 3 is all about, is to build consistent habits, right? It's the habit of being a habit formation is to constantly teach and duplicate the simple things. People are not interested in learning how to become a scientist or a doctor or whatever it is that, requires an enormous amount of reading and time. They're not interested. They will not do it. But if you tell them a simple thing, repeated, that's it. Install the software on your phone and on the cloud. And make sure there's one on the left, one on the right. And make sure that these two are doing the same thing. I'm telling you, it will explode. And when the software is installed, I know that next weekend on May 4th, Joel is going to be doing a demonstration of what they have so far. And this is really, really, really exciting. Folks, I'm telling you, I get goosebumps. Get ready for rain. So that's the building the consistency of doing the money-making activities and the right activities. And when someone comes in with a new shiny deal, be polite, right? Don't turn it, because you could recruit them too. Because I'm telling you, a lot of these people, I've been seeing this for the past 28 years. The shiny deals, they come in every year, and they come and leave and come and leave and come and leave and come. It never stops. But the ones who make the money are the ones that are making a stand. So when you speak to your prospects, to someone who's prospecting you, stand your ground so they know you are not movable, because the vision is bigger than probably theirs. And you could turn around and recruit these people, maybe not on that call, but over time. Hey, listen, I've seen that you're doing well. I've seen your promotion. I've seen your post, and you seem to, can you tell me about this again? I'm telling you, that's how you start creating leads around you that will come back to you. So that's very, very important, right? The strategy of creating some habits are very important. Overcoming obstacles and staying motivated. Every morning, I repeat to myself, I know I don't want to sound conceited, but these are things I need to tell myself to believe it. And the more you tell yourself, you will believe it. And what's really interesting is what you think about becomes. There's so many mentors today that talks about this. Some of the greatest mentors out there. I wake up in the morning and says, I'm amazing. I'm a very successful person. I'm grateful. And I go out and I repeat myself these things. Folks, you need to do that. There's so much junk out there that you absorb. I know about you, but I'm a movie buff. I love watching movies. But let's face it, the majority of movies out there is dark. It's very dark. It's a reflection of what people want to see, what people want to hear. And of course, that's what they invest into. It's funny how the world works. But the downside is you're constantly absorbing drama. And then it's you look at your Facebook and TikTok, drama. I mean, sometimes I get caught into reaching the politics and listening to the politics in Canada. Drama. It doesn't stop.
And then you look at your got back up, pay, and it's drama, because you're not building your business. No, it's so important to value your time. Write that down, you guys. Value your time. You need to value your time.
This is number 4.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm not
perfect. You're actually dead on.
Time management. Okay, good.
It's common sense.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
right.
it's all about valuing your time. Is people make a lot of excuses, and I used to be one of those, so I get it. And always busy was always the thing for me. I have no time. I'm too busy. Busy people get things done. They're the best ones. Because when people tell me they're busy and time is of essence for them, I'm like, great. Because while you're busy, you can build conversations about Got Backup. Do Got Backup while you do life. If you can't set target time frames, because you're always on the go. Because I know people who have 3-4 jobs and they're always on the go. But guess what? They meet people all the time. And if they just create a short conversation, send them the link, invite them to a presentation, then, and they do this consistently, they'll build an income. They'll build an income. So there's no excuses. You know, if you can't set the time, I highly recommend to do that. Put aside time for your business. You want your business to grow, you need time. But if you are that person that's never sitting down, having that 1 hour, do 15 minutes, you guys, do 15 minutes. 15 minutes is better than no minutes. And then all those 15 minutes add up. If you can't pull an hour together, do 15-minute segments. Okay, so there's no excuse. You either do it or you don't do it.
You know, Tammy, it's really interesting. There's a gentleman that I'm following up with, and he went a pre-enrollee for quite a long time. And every time I try to convert him to become an associate, it's only $20, but the point is that for some reason, it's just not happening. There's always something that gets in the way. That's the point of procrastination, folks. I'm not going to sit and wait for this person and hope every day that he's going to sign up. I'm too busy prospecting other folks or following up with other folks. But the point here is, don't be that person that procrastinate to make your calls, that procrastinate to send you email, that procrastinate to move forward, that procrastinate to start getting that person on the left and on the right and make sure that they're, you know, they each have one on the left, one on the right, so they can become coppers. I'm telling you, the fact here is procrastination kills momentum. Flat right, like outright. And by the way, I know that there's many comments on YouTube Live, and I apologize. I'm trying to pay attention. So if my head is moving up left and right, it's because I'm trying to follow all your comments and keep them coming, because remember that the audience are watching your comments and your comments are super relevant. Okay. So well done.
Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to put a like. Make sure that you're connected, you guys.
Here's Joel. I love his comment here. People ask me, I'll stay in shape, and when I have no time, I make the time for the important things. Life always, right? Brilliant, Joel. Absolutely. That's our founder. This is our CEO, and he's here. See, one thing that I really appreciate about our CEO is the greatest leaders are also the greatest students. They absorb all the time. That's why they're great. That's why they're amazing at what they do. That's what you want to be. So manage your time, folks, and avoid procrastination and prioritize your tasks. Critical, prioritize your tasks. If you know what your goals are and what you want to achieve, that's why we started with the goals earlier. Well, then you're in a position to determine the priority of your task. Is this task in line with your goals? Maybe your goal is to maybe improve the relationship between you and your wife, or improve your relationship with your kids, or improve the relationship with your business and your team leaders. Are you doing the things that are in line to that? That's a priority. So I'm not going to tell you what's a priority for you, because I don't run your life. It's your life. But you have to measure based on that. Number 5 is tracking progress and adjusting the course. If what you're doing doesn't give you any results, maybe you should start doing something. Maybe it's the fact that you're not doing anything. That could be one. Or maybe you're working hard, but whatever you're doing gives you 0 results, but you keep plugging at it, but 0 results. It could be that what you're doing is okay, but they might need some adjustments. You know, like you're trying to adjust the water temperature just right to be able to do something or to cook something or whatever it is. And when it reaches that temperature, then you can move forward. Well, maybe you haven't reached that perfect temperature right now. So you need to make some adjustments on how you go about doing things to be able to get the results. That's what we mean by adjusting the course and how you go about doing things. Now, we have some people that build their business in a certain way. We know it's not going to do well because of the strategy on how they're building it. It is not designed for folks to earn. So we tell them, but we can't force them. That's the free army, right? Folks decide to do what they want to do, how they want to go about it. That's the beauty of this business. You don't have a boss or anybody to tell you how to run your life. But sometimes it's good to follow someone who achieved so you can also achieve. So the fact is, you may want to do some adjustments. Maybe you need to do a bit of reading, a bit of learning. Maybe for you to come up to these sessions on Saturday, it's critical. So, and I know right now, some of you are asking, is this call recorded? Yes, it's actually on a YouTube channel right now, on the God Backup GVO channel. It's sitting there. Okay. And the title is there. Consistency wins the race. Okay. So you can follow up there. If if let's say someone is not here that needs to hear this. So the fact here is you need to find tools like Tammy and I, we know we can't be there all the time for everybody. As much as we try to keep up with a Telegram, we can't be there all the time. We sleep, we do things, we live our lives. Sometimes we're going to go out and do things. I'm not going to turn around and respond and start discussing everything every second, right? I prioritize. Is it a priority right now? No, it isn't. But at one point, it needs to be handled. So we prioritize things, but we have tools like the Dropbox, the board, right? The board is something that is there. When someone says, can you send me this? Oh, I see it's on the board. Check this out. Maybe the first time I'm going to send a link to the board and send the link where the file is. But after that, if they come back, can you send me this? Oh, check on the board. And you know what? They will go check on the board. They need to build a habit. If you constantly do things, micromanage your business like this, you're never going to be successful. You're too busy micromanaging. So again, it's very important to have some systems and tools that people can plug into. And when you get involved, it's when you absolutely cannot replace what the tool can do. That's when you get involved. And you need to make some adjustments so people can learn how to do certain things. At the beginning, yes, like an infant, you do everything all the time, nonstop. But after a while, they need to start learning the skills. So again, track your progress and make adjustments. So number 6, Tammy, is overcoming setbacks and maintaining momentum.
I just want to expand on that too, because something that Chris and I do every Sunday, we always go for a nice breakfast every Sunday. We do a workout in the morning and then we go for breakfast. And when we sit down for breakfast, we plan, do review. And this is something that you want to be doing consistently. That's how you can measure, is you plan what your week's going to look like, how many hours you're going to put into your business, what are the things that you need to do, the money-making activities, the follow-ups that you need to do, how many people do you need to connect with, all of that. How many invites are you going to be doing for the presentations? And, sending out your emails for those of you who are working the email system. And then you do it, right? So you spend the week doing it and then you do your review. So Sunday is always our review on what we've accomplished that week. And if there's any adjustments that need to be done, then we do the adjustments. And that's how we've always built our business. You got to sit back for a second, because you can't just run like a motor and get no results. You can't do that, because you're going to burn out. How many people come in this industry and burn out? That's because they're not doing what is necessary to do, or they're doing everything for everybody and they're exhausted. And our business is not about doing things for people. Our business is about guiding people and teaching them how to do the things. That's why the boards is so important. When you sign somebody up, a perfect example, when you sign somebody up in your business, do you go to the boards immediately and send them the congratulations on the onboarding? Do you do that? How many people do that? I go through the whole system, top to bottom. There's 6 steps, you guys. And I go through the steps with them, and I go through their back office to make sure that they're on track. They have their links, and then it's done. And then I guide them in the process of making sure that they're being accountable to their goals and their dreams. And that's what it's about in leading people. Now, again, I always say, some people will step back. You can't step back because somebody steps back. You need to keep going forward. If somebody's not willing to do what it takes to build their business, you don't build it for them. You're there to guide them. You plug them in, but you need to keep going. Okay. New people. I always say, go get new people. Always go get new people, because new people are always excited. Always excited.
Hey, while you're saying this, I was thinking of something, how I handle the lead, but the person yesterday was trying to prospect us.
Mhm.
One of the things that I shared is, the era that we're in today with some of the challenges that we're facing when it comes to inflation and so forth, that is the future. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. How are you adjusting to that? See, why Got Backup has such a bright future. And I talked to one of the investment, by the way, that I sponsor. I said that yesterday on our presentation. He said, Chris, you know what I really like about Got Backup is the price point. It's so inexpensive. And it's a service that everybody needs. So when you speak that way to someone that's trying to recruit you to whatever deal that they're trying to get into, right? They're going to start thinking, because they may have to pay $100, $200, $300 a month to be able to maintain their business, knowing that that's becoming a challenge. And depending on what country you live in, it's a whole lot more than that. But $10, folks. So I'm telling you, that's what I mean, where I think I create some shaky ground on their end, because now they're thinking, just a minute. And I could bet you that in about 2, 3, for me, 6 months from now, when things didn't turn out, I hope things go well for them, but I can tell you, they're going to think of me again. That's what I'm saying, is that you want to be patient. You want to be polite, because this can turn into a lead for you in the near future. So the fact is, overcoming setbacks and maintain momentum. It's kind of in line to that, right? Deal with the setback and failures. Don't let the failures be doomsday for you. Is there some setbacks? Of course there are. It's just called business. Doesn't matter what you do today. There's always going to be setback. It's how you deal with them that will define your leadership and if people are going to follow you, right? You want to cultivate resilience and perseverance. Sorry, my French kicked in here. Perseverance,
Yes.
right? So it's very important. You want to cultivate that. You want to grow and cultivate that. Personal growth. As we said at the beginning of the call, the main reason why people don't succeed in our business is because they do not consistently follow through. They're like bees. And I do have a lot of respect for bees. I'm just using that as an example. Is they jump from one flower to a flower, flower to flower, to flower to flower to flower. That's what they do for a living. But in our case, it doesn't serve us well. You want to make a decision. When you marry, you marry. You don't play with girlfriends every day. Your marriage is not going to go well. Again, it's a very visual example, but that's the business you're in. Okay. And I know there's some things that could something be accepted, but at the end of the day, folks, here's the point. Deal with the setbacks, right? Work strategies. Work some, 20 and 30 days strategies. Once we have the enhancement compensation plan introduced and we have the software introduced, I'm telling you, Tammy are going to be working on some 2030s, 20 new people in 30 days. Yep. And we're going to go nuts with that one. So prepare for rain, because it will grow. And some of you are going to be doing so well. Overcome setbacks and maintain momentum. An extra 30 days. Let's keep them on board for an extra 30 days, because in that 30 days, something can happen that's going to keep them for another 6 months or maybe forever, whatever the situation may be. Once your stuff is online, and that's another great asset we Got Backup. Once your stuff is online on the cloud, you don't want to part with it. It's your life. So once everything is working, I'm telling you, people are going to be hooked to this. They don't want to let go. So that's the future. So the jumpers out there, I'm telling you, they'll come back. They'll come back. Even if they're in your Got Backup business and they're doing other deals, I assure you they will be back. I guarantee it. So that's the environment you want to create, right? Work strategies to overcome setbacks and to maintain motivation. So these trainings is one of those strategies. We're going to share some things that could help. So, Tammy, do you have anything you want to add to this before we go on to number 7 on creating support in environment?
Always make sure that your teams are engaged. That's the key. Signing people up is, for me, it's the easy part. But keeping them in is always the work, right? Keeping people in, like Chris said, keep them in for 30 days. How do you keep somebody in for 30 days? Well, you create an environment for them to thrive in 30 days. And, share the simplicity. People need to know how simple it is. I was partnering with a couple of friends on a Zoom the other day who I brought into the business. They were super busy dealing with life. And then we had a serious conversation. By the time the conversation was done, the next day they had somebody ready to come in, and then that person had somebody ready to come in. So you need to get back to the people. Always get back to people. Even if they're busy, you need a follow-up system with your existing partners. You need a follow-up system with your prospects, and you need to keep those conversations going. Because sometimes when people sign up, you guys, they don't get it. I know when I was new, I didn't really get it a lot, but now I so get it. I understand. I mean, for what we get for $10, it's unheard of. It's unheard of. So much value, so much value. People don't know what they have. And when I started sharing with them, they're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then I started visually showing them on the screens, and they were just blown away, because at the beginning they got in, but they weren't really engaged. And they always say that in our industry, you can sign anybody up, but when they're engaged is when they see the big picture. They got to see the big picture. If they don't see the big picture, they're not going to do anything with this. So it's for you to get people to see the big picture.
So Tammy, you touched on something really important here, is creating a supporting environment. And I mentioned that I left a message on our Telegram group about this, where a lot of folks sponsors people and they let them defend for themselves. It's like you have a brand new child, newborn, let them defend for themselves. Think about it. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't sound really good anyway. But my point is, it's a little bit like this in the business. Think of it that way. They have no idea how to do things. I know some of you might be completely intuitive. I get that. There's some of us like that. But the majority of the people are not. They're not intuitive. You need to give them instructions and steps, and at least share your screen, show them how you did yours. And then from there, again, these are details more for a training. But my point in saying here is you want to create a supportive environment. So they feel that they're surrounded by a supportive system. And the people that sponsor folks, and you move on to the next deal, and to the next prospect and the next prospect, and all they do is bring in, but there's no supportive system. You're going to eventually have a lot of people in your business, but you will not be the top income earner. No. The top income earner in his business, they don't bring the most amount of people. They bring good people. They do bring generals. They do bring people that are influential and so forth, but they spend time and quality time to make sure that they have what they need to thrive. I'm telling you, I can prove it every single time. I've over the years, I've never fails. The top income earners in his company are recruiting, but they're spending a lot of time also making sure that people have what they need. But be careful. Don't spend time with the wrong people. If they're not interested to bill, but you show up all the time, but they're never there, they're never on time, they never follow through, that's a strong indication, not that you don't want to take care of them, but they're there, they know you're there, and when they knock, then the door shall open, right? But if they don't, focus on the ones you do, because I'm telling you, there are some people that are very willing to move forward if they can get the vision, because you're spending 2 minutes with them. Very important. Creating a supportive environment is absolutely critical, right? Seeking accountability and encouragement. People need to be encouraged. We're not robots, right? We're not AI machines. We are human beings with emotions. And we need sometimes to have this positive encouragement. Be that person for your downline. These are the things that will make a world of difference into your business. Show them that you care and you're there.
Often I think about
Yeah.
people who are going through stuff in the team, and I'll be reading something and a quote pops out or a phrase of something, and I just send them a quick little message. I was thinking about you today, and I send them something or even an inspirational video, and I know it means a lot to them because I was like that when I had my days, and there was somebody there for me. That's when I lit up again and I started to run again. And we all need that. We're, like Chris said, we're all human beings. We need to be lifted once in a while. And so you want to be there for sure.
Okay, so that creating supportive environment, folks, is so important. Building a positive and empowering environment for success.
Mhm.
Really important. That's number 7. Number 8 is conclusion and action plan. So just to do a quick recap here, is we talked about consistency and the importance of being consistent. Number 2, we talked about understanding your goals and be truthful to your goals. Understand where they are and be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Number 3, we talked about building consistent habits, right? To be consistently doing the things that are in line with your goals. And then we talked about time management and prioritizing things that are in line with your goals, the things that are important to you. We're different, so everyone will have different things. Tracking progress and making adjustment. That's number 5. Number 4 is time management. Number 5 is tracking progress and adjusting the course. Number 6, we talk about we talk about the setbacks and maintaining momentum, right? Overcoming setbacks and maintaining momentum. Number 7, we just finished talking about creating a supportive environment, an environment that people can feel safe and thrive. Very important. But what's important is when you enroll someone in, and we talked about it a few times on this session here today before we end, we talked about connecting with them. Don't let them defend for themselves, but show them how to install the software. If you have not done this because you don't know how, we have countless videos out there, including the God Backup videos that are out there. Even if you don't fully understand, reach out to someone above you. I'm telling you, there's someone in your upline who will be happy to help you because they know that if you succeed, it increases the value of their binary. I'm telling you, if you go high enough, you will eventually find someone. Okay, but find out who's in your upline leadership. But my point in saying this here is that you want to show them how to install the software on the phone and on the computer. Now, I would say that probably the majority of people are using their cell phones only. That's totally cool. The fact here is you need to understand the process. Understand that it's online. And sometimes line of communication gets interrupted for some reason. Sometimes error messages pop up because there's a communication error. It's not that software's fault all the time, right? It could be just the communication error based on where you live, the Wi-Fi you're dealing with, whatever. But the point is that if you understand the process and the videos, this is what I did when I first started. I watched the videos. Go back there. Go back to the basics and be consistent. And from there, once you have the software installed, understand the compensation plan a bit. I know we're talking about enhancement. We don't have all the details yet. You don't have all the details yet. But my point in saying is it's all about recruiting folks. Help them reach copper. One on the left, one on the right. That's what you need. You don't need to understand the whole engine. You just need where to put the key, or you have your fob around and start your car. It's funny how times change. We have to change the way we think, right? Right. And constantly commit to ongoing growth and personal development. Earlier, there was a message saying that this business is a personal growth environment, right? There's an expression I'm sure you've heard the income you earn is the compensation plan with a self-improvement system. The more you improve, the better you become, the more income will grow because more people will follow, and maybe you'll have an opportunity to inspire more people to stay the course and move forward and actually get off their butts and do something with this. Of course, there's always going to be people complaining. It's the world that we live in, and that's okay. Try to convert those complaints into momentum. If there's a complaint, it could be a situation that they need to understand. Once you understand it, I got it now. Boom. Or they may not. That's when you know where to focus on. So what are your last thoughts, Tammy, as we end?
Just be consistent, you guys. Remember, You need to get to copper and get your people to copper. Go back to all the people that you've brought into the business. If you haven't brought one in yet, you need to get to copper. Okay. Get your 1-in-1. Very, very important. If you sign somebody up in the business and they're not copper yet, you need to make that phone call and make sure that they're copper. Okay. And continue making those phone calls and helping them. And then you want to get them to get their 2 people to copper. If you need to get on a Zoom session with your new people, because often new people, they don't know how to train. They need to be plugged in. They need these important trainings that we're talking about right now. And if they're not on these sessions, they need to be on these sessions. And it's up to us as leaders of leading people to create value of why they need to show up. If you show up, you learn. If you show up with a guest, you learn and you earn. Okay. Which do you prefer? Put it in the chat. Which do you prefer? You prefer to just show up and learn, or do you prefer to show up and learn and have a guest and an opportunity to earn? Which do you prefer? Because we need to promote. We need to get this company to the next level. How do we do it? Team up. Let's start doing the basics. Basics, getting people to copper. Sign one up on the left, sign one up on the right. Simple, you guys. Simple. 6 terabytes. 6 terabytes of data storage. They can have 5 other members on their account, 6 in total. Unlimited devices for less than $10 a month. So don't exaggerate and do all. You don't have to give too much. Okay. Keep it simple. People are busy. They want simplicity. And the simpler you keep this and for them to get it, the more you're going to grow.
So again, to recap, someone gets started, make sure the software is installed on our phone and our computer. Make sure they sponsor one on the right, one on the left. That's it. Make them understand that. And of course, as you keep evolving, you really want to have as many copper as you can. They don't all have to be personal to you, but you definitely want to have one on the left, one on the right. That's someone that has one person on the left, one person on the right. They become copper. Keep duplicating this. The goal is you want to have as many coppers. So every time someone signs up, I will have to make sure they get to copper. I will not miss a beat there. And once the compensation plan enhancement are announced and we got the full report in our back office, I'm going to study this with a fine comb. We'll do training on this. We'll teach you how Tammy and I are going to look at all our personals. Well, some things I guess we can't expose to the public, but you understand what I mean. We'll figure this out. But we'll say this, okay, I see this person signed up, never sponsored anybody. Let me give them a phone call so they can become a copper and count as one of the copper for me. Many of you have an enormous amount of people in your team that are not copper, right? They haven't sponsored on the left. They haven't sponsored on the right. They haven't done that yet. But once you understand the benefits of doing that, I assure you, and maybe some of them are stuck. They never installed the software. They just paid their fee to get started, and that's it. And they left it there because they didn't, they were stuck fitting for themselves. That's what's going to change your entire life with your income potential we got back up.
Exactly.
So folks, listen, it was a real pleasure. I hope that you got some good points out of this. So we shared some 8 points in reference to consistency, always win the race, right? And make sure that you understand what your goals are. Be specific about them so you can target around them and focus your time around them and to do the right activities around them that will get you to what you want out of life, opposed to live the life that you have to live.
And
so everybody have yourself
get everybody on next Saturday's session. Okay.
Next Saturday.
Yeah. May 4th, put it in your schedule. Contact everybody that you signed up. Contact everybody that haven't made a decision. And let's pack that call so that everybody gets the same announcement and you watch your team go into momentum. The more people you get into next Saturday, the more money you're going to make.
Oh, yeah.
How hungry are you?
Okay, folks, have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. Remember, on Wednesday, we have the presentation with our CEO, Joel Terrier. And on Friday, we have our presentation at 11 a.m. And I know Noel does a presentation on Sunday in French. And I know there's many others, folks. I'm just trying to get a feel for what's going on. There's Spanish presentation, there's Italian presentations. I'm just not aware of the details and times. But again, folks, plug into your leaders, make sure you're aware where everything is, and start doing the work. Don't worry about the naysayers and the bees out there that are always jumping from flower to flowers. I'm telling you, you're in a good space. Stay the course. Keep moving forward. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.